As someone who collects and repairs vintage electronic equipment, this is something that I don't like to find, but unfortunately this sort of thing happens all too often. And I'm sure many of you who do the same thing as I do can relate to this. I'm sure you could tell plenty of stories about this. Got a phone call this morning from a friend of mine. He was getting ready to come over and we were going to hit some flea markets. And he said, I'm at a yard sale close to my house, and a guy has an old record player. It's got legs on it. We can't find a brand name on it anywhere. He wants $10 for it. Do you want me to get it or not? And I said, yeah, go ahead and get it. And he said, well, I'm going to forewarn you, it's in rough shape. It's probably not good for much. I said, well, maybe I can use it for parts. And he said, well, I'll try to get it a little cheaper if I can. So when he brought it to me, he said I was able to get it for $8. That's as low as the guy would go. He said he bought an old house that was in bad shape and he was going to tear it down. And he was trying to sell some of the stuff he found in the house, and this record player was one of the things. Well, it turns out that it's an Admiral from about 56 or 57. It was one of the nicer little consulate hi-fi jobs, but it's obvious that someone intentionally tried to destroy this. First, we look on the front. There's supposed to have been a gold Admiral badge on here. That's been ripped off. You can see the Admiral imprint left. The speakers are shot. You can see the light passing through the speaker grill cloth. I think there's supposed to be 2 or 3 speakers in here. All the tubes are missing. It had a 12AX7 and 250C5, so this thing would obviously kick a little bit. In fact, there's a restored one of these on YouTube right now, and after hearing that one, it makes me wonder even more how somebody could just intentionally try to destroy something like this and just leave it to rot. Alright, here comes the really good part. There was also supposed to be an escutcheon here that said Admiral High Fidelity and listed the knob functions, volume, bass, and treble. But you can see somebody ripped that off. And you can look here and see where it looks like somebody tried to pry up the metal ventilation grill here. They broke the tone arm off of the record changer. They broke off the plastic around the function lever here. This is all bent up. The overarm is all bent and messed up. The record sensor flag is all bent and messed up, but we have a 45 adapter on here. I guess that's the correct one for this model. I'm surprised that's still present, and I'm surprised the knobs are still here. What's this old crusty record? Whatever Makes You Happy by R.B. Hudman. Obviously a radio station promo copy that probably never went anywhere on the charts. Now if we look at the cabinet here, we can see where it's all delaminating and separating and all that. I could glue all that back together. The top is all messed up. Got stuff coming loose here on the sides. The speaker grill is shot. The legs look like they've been sitting in water. You can see they're all deformed and the tips gone off of them. This is the cable to the record changer. You can see somebody unplugged it from the amplifier here. The tubes are indeed missing. I see 3 speakers. All 3 of them are finished. So yeah, what a shame. And we often talk about how people today don't take care of stuff, and when something becomes the least bit obsolete, they just throw it out and buy a new one. Yes, that very much goes on more than ever, but it also went on back in the old days too. There's a couple of scenarios that could have happened to this thing. Something happened to it, And by the time that happened, by the time it stopped working, there was solid state stereo models around. This was considered an obsolete piece of junk, and somebody just had at it, just tried to destroy the thing. Or when it was left in the house where it was found, it could have still been in nice shape, and vandals got in it and tried to have fun with it. But either way, it's just really sad to see something like this. And yes, if I really wanted to, I could bring this back to life, and depending on how energetic I feel, I might give it a shot one day. The biggest thing is going to be finding a record changer that's similar to this one, because I don't think there's any hope of repairing this one. Cosmetically, I'm really not that good with cosmetics. I could glue all this back down and clean it up, sand it down, and paint the cabinet some color of my choosing. Getting the amplifier to work I don't think would be any problem. We could probably find some speakers in my junk, but yeah, I just really don't like seeing stuff like this. I was hoping it would at least have a good set of tubes and some good speakers in it to justify the $8 that was spent on it, but it doesn't even look like I'm going to get that out of it. And this record's trash. It's cracked, as you can see. I was going to go try to play it and see what's on it, but sure it's nothing I want to hear anyway. But yeah, this is a lot of what we find in my area. Honestly, most of my decent stuff I get off of various internet sites. I rarely ever find anything good down here. Most of what I find in my area got shoved into a barn or a chicken house or an attic or a storage building and left to rot, and then somebody finds it 50 years later and thinks they've struck gold because it's old. Well, at least I can say this guy, he didn't think this was worth $500. He didn't ask a lot of money for it, so, you know, that's one good thing. So I don't know what'll happen here. This might end up getting sold for parts, or not sold for parts. I doubt anybody would give me anything for it, or it will get used for parts to fix other things, or if I get to feeling energetic, or if everybody begs and pleads and wants me to try to fix this thing, I might try to get it going one day, but we'll just have to see. But right now I've got way more pressing things to worry about. But on a good note, I found a few records. Canned Heat, I think that might have been their first album. Lou Rawls and Les McCann, I think that's from '62. Stormy Monday. Lou Rawls from '77. When you hear Lou, you've heard it all. Dusty Springfield, Golden Hits. What's funny, it's in a mono cover, but the record is an '80s stereo reissue. Maybe even early '90s, but mid-'80s at least. I don't know why they didn't use the stereo cover for that. Bobby V, Gates, Grills, and Railings. That's from about '68 or '9, and I found this V-disc, 78 RPM record. Count Basie on one side, Duke Ellington on the other side, but pretty much everything else at the flea market was slim pickings. The only radios and record players that were there was the same overpriced stuff that's been there forever. And that was about it.